Firstly, I wanted to appreciate and thank Rabbi Berg, Rabbi Isaacson, all the Rashi Yeshiva. This yeshiva is an incredible Makom Torah. And so walking in, I met a lot of guys. Walking in, I met a lot of guys who are returning. Alumni, people returning. That's a tremendous sign on a yeshiva. That guys want to come back. We're Zeiche and Yeshiva Bayas. One of the very, very powerful influences in the Yeshiva Bayas is somebody, Chika Gertzberg, who's a Talmud, a Mevaseret, and you're getting next year, a close friend of mine is coming to the Yeshiva, Charlie Breda. He's been accepted already. It's Eidos. This is a smart place. I think Charlie's here somewhere. Is Charlie here? Excellent, excellent. You're getting a winner. You're getting a winner. This yeshiva is going to be lucky. As is Charlie. This is the energy here is a beautiful Makom Torah. It's a schus to be here. I'm happy walking in. I got to greet a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of the chevra. There's nothing wrong if two people are uncomfortable and they sing. Okay, it's not a bad thing. At a Friday night Suda, people don't know how to be comfortable and they sing. It's not the end of the world, but I'd much rather sing when we're already comfortable. It's not like a good escape. Like, what do I say? Okay, let's sing a song. That's fine. It's not an Aveira, and it could be that can help a group of Chevra become comfortable. Then the song's holy. Something makes you close, it's holy. But I like much better people are comfortable and then they sing together. They're ready. It's not the song. We're already comfortable and we could sing. So I like I got to know some of the Chevra. Maybe we could sing together the Barditchev or start with that. We'll learn Divrei Torah as well. But if we could sing together the Barditchev, I think that would be a mechaya and appropriate. This beautiful place, a very special yid. And let's sing this together, and then we'll share Divrei Torah. Thank you, Chevra. Thank you, thank you. you very much, Chevra. I want to thank Yehuda Krupka. Flew in from America and it's always to be around Yehuda's precious and to sing with Yehuda's otherworldly. So I thank Yehuda for being here. I want to thank, I came to Eretz Yisrael together with the Chevra, together with Rabbi Brownstein, Rabbi Yitzchak Brownstein Shlita, his family. I came together with Nachum Wolf. Somebody pointed out in the car that it's called Mevaseret. And Eliyahu Hanavi is called the Mevaseret Tov. Brings good news, a big thing. My father would not spread bad news. It's like based on a Gemara Pesachim, he wouldn't say over bad news. Never. There was like no such thing. Unless it was mamish, negeya. You had to go somewhere. He wouldn't say over bad news. But to say over good news is a big thing. In our Chabura and Yeshiva, from the holiest guys, he brings the good news. Somebody's a chassan, he announces it's a Mevaseret Tov. Somebody pointed out coming to Mevaseret, and Nachum Wolf is a Mevaseret, he's a Mevaseret Tov. So I want to appreciate being here with him. I'm here with my children, Hudi and Maishi. To be with them is precious. I love this place. I wanted to come. I came with the Chevra. We got off the airplane this afternoon. I wanted to come here. I love this yeshiva. There's a warmth here. There's a chiyus, wonderful chiyus of Yidden, a beautiful Yidden, sincere people. We're all trying to grow, doing our part, doing our thing. And it's a beautiful matzvah. It's a schus. I wanted to come together I wanted Shmuel Salzberg to come here. I flew with Mo Muller. Mo Muller and I travel many places. I wanted to come here. And it's just warm here, and a schus to sit by this Aron Kodesh, by this yeshiva, together with the Chevra here is an absolute honor. In Parashat Shmos that we learned last week, so the pasuk describes Vayuku Sha'arei Bnei Yisrael. The Jewish policemen were smacked. Asher Samu Aleihem, that were placed on Am Yisrael. There were Shaitrim, there were Jews, there were Yidden who were put in a position of power, but they were smacked by Noigsei Paroi, by Paroi's henchmen. It's a little confusing. There's two groups of leadership. In Mitzrayim, what the Mitzrayim did is they appointed Yidden to a position of power, and there was forced slave labor. One of the many abuses that Mitzrayim did to Am Yisrael, to our people, is they forced avodas perach, slave labor, and they appointed Yidden Shaitrim. They made Yidden Sha'arei Bnei Yisrael. They gave Yidden the position of power to force other Yidden to slave labor. And of course, these Yidden were chas. They had rachmanis on their brothers, and they took klap. They were beaten up for Am Yisrael. Rashi says, Vayuku Sha'arei Bnei Yisrael, Shaitrim Yisraelim hayu. These were policemen that were Yidden. V'chasna al chavereim l'dochkam. They had rachmanis on Yidden. They knew they would get beaten up. For not enforcing, they had a job. They were hired by the Mitzrayim to enforce other Yidden to slave labor. But of course, a Yid doesn't hurt another Yid. And they were chas, they had pity on other Yidden. They appreciated another Yid, and they didn't force them. When they returned back the bricks, of course, there wasn't suffice for what the Mitzrayim wanted. The Yiddish policemen were beaten up. Since they didn't force the other Yidden to work hard, they were beaten up. Lefikach, therefore, says Rashi, Zachu Eisam Shaitrim. These policemen had the schus liyai Sanhedrin. In the desert, in the midbar, they became the leaders of our people. V'netzal min ha-ruach asher al Moshe v'hu sam aleim. And the Ruach Hashem, the Spirit of God, the Ruach Hashem, the Ruach HaKodesh, that was on Moshe Rabbeinu spilled onto these shaitrim, these police, because they had rachmanis and they took patch. They took beatings to save other Yidden. I'd like to ask the following question. Why did the Mitzrayim give power to any Yidden? We were enslaved, and they were purposely looking to lower us. They were looking b'dafka to bring down the madreg of Am Yisrael. That was the intention of Mitzrayim. We say in Hallel, B'tzeis Yisrael mi Mitzrayim. Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim. Beis Yaakov me Am Loyez. Am Loyez is a nation besides Laz, meaning foreign. The Gemara in Gittin says Laz is Lashon Hara. May Am Loyez, they were a nation that went Vivayish, that lowered the Yid. Vayoreyu Aisanu Mitzrayim, Rishonim say, is they turned us schlecht. They turned us bad. They were saying we're not good. They were saying Lashon Hara and Am Loyez. They were lowering the Yid. The gorgeous Yid, the Yid who's the Karev of Hashem, Am Troivai, the Yid whose neshama is wildly big, us, me and you, who have big neshamas and crazy light, me and you, in the way we are, who we are, an incredible light, each Yid. And the Mitzrayim were knocking down the Yid. So why did they give some Yidden positions of power? They appointed some Yidden, strangely, they had their own force, Noitzei Paroi. They had their own policemen, but somehow they created another layer, another level, that they, besides their police and their guards and their wild men who would beat us up to work, they appointed Yidden to the task. Why'd they do that? This has been a model that all through the Dairis and Galus, the capos, the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, followed the same pattern. They had capos. They gave Yidden positions of power. This is not a side point to Galus. This is Galus itself. This is Galus. That Yidden are put in a position, even a nation who didn't want to give us power, wanted to put us down, but they try to get Yidden to be mean and to be Sinai and to hurt another Yid. They wanted that. That's Galus. That's the darkness. The Sinai Yisrael, those who hate Am Yisrael, they want the division in our people. They even give power to some if they take that power to subjugate, to humble, to put down others of our people. And what saves our people is Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rabbi Shalom sends Megalman Zchus Al Yedei Zakai through a Moshe Rabbeinu who's Vayar B'Sivloisam, who cares, who's Nasan Einav Liba Eliyos Meitzer Aleim, who cares about a Yid, who appreciates the light, the beauty, the importance of a Yid. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one Hashem sends to take Am Yisrael. The Golus itself is a Yid should smack another Yid. A Yid should put down another Yid. And these Tzaddikim, Sha'arei B'nai Yisrael, who saw the light of another Yid, and were willing to take patches, were willing to get hurt, to protect another Yid, to stand up for another Yid, the Moshe, the Ruach HaKodesh of Moshe Rabbeinu is Netzel Aleim, comes on them, and they become the leaders of Klal Yisrael, the Sanhedrin. Those people that understand the holiness of a Yid. A Yid's a big thing, is a huge, a Yid. Each Yid, every Yid is a very, very big deal. And the people that understand the value of a Yid and celebrate a Yid automatically draw from the Ruach of Moshe Rabbeinu, and they're Zeichet to be Sanhedrin, to be Manhigei Yisrael, to be leaders of our people, because they get it. They understand the value of a Yid. The Sugya of Galus, the Sugya is the brothers selling Yosef. The Sfas Emes speaks that the brothers selling Yosef is a bechena that they didn't understand the light that was their brother Yosef. They didn't understand. They missed it. They called him a Navi Sheker. There was a gorgeous, deep light that was Yosef HaTzadik. And they didn't understand it. They missed it. When he said, Ani Yosef, the Sfas Emes describes that the brothers had a sense, oh my goodness, how didn't we see this? How didn't we notice the Ur of a Yid? How did I miss this? But that's the Chayshech of Galus itself. And the Geula is that the Yid, the Geula, it's not a side point to Geula. Haramas Keren Yisrael, the restoration that a Yid, who's the Am Hashem, who's the Karv of Hashem, who Hashem bestows a big neshama in me and in you. And a Yid who understands, that's the Geula itself. That's the Geula. Galus is not something distant from us. Galus is that klipa, that shell that a Yid, Vayakam melech chadash al Mitzrayim shelo yihikir es Yosef, is the Galus. Yosef, whose light's been discovered, is no longer recognized. Vayakam melech chadash al Mitzrayim shelo Yosef HaTzadik, one Yid, 17 years old, comes to Mitzrayim, and the entire country loses its mind from Yosef. People go arais from Kalim. The king of Mitzrayim says, Hanimsa kazeh ish? Did you ever see a human being like Yosef HaTzadik? Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? He says to the others around him. Hanimsa kazeh ish? There's nobody I've ever seen like this. I've never met a man, the entire Mitzrayim goes crazy from Yosef HaTzadik. And then the brothers, through the Galus, the brothers have Akara. Oh my goodness, we missed this Ar, and he becomes the first Melech of Klal Yisrael. Yosef HaTzadik becomes the first Melech, this Yid who was rejected, who was neglected, whose light wasn't seen. He comes to Mitzrayim and people can't believe he has a light from one end of the world to the other. That's Geula, when Yosef is seen. And Galus is Vayakam melech chadash al Mitzrayim shelo yihikir es Yosef. All of a sudden, the Yid who has a light from one end of the world to the other, a new melech comes who doesn't see Yosef. Hester panim, a deep Hester. Hashem's Hester. Hashem hides that his people, Am Kroivoi, his people, endowed with a special neshama, are covered up, are not seen. That's Hester. And the Geula itself is the Yid, the one who's close to Hashem, the one who's the Banim Hashem, is seen, is noticed, his own neshama, his own closeness, his own beauty. That's the Geula itself. Part of Galus is they ask Yid not to see another Yid. They'll even give power to a Yid, beat up another Yid. Our avodah is to see, it's to get a naim, to see the value of a Yid. How can we see it ourselves first? See it in yourself. Be'emes, be'emes, be'emes. Be'emes, a person, ourselves, not trying to be the stark guy in your shiur, not forcing, nothing to do with that. The guy inside, with our frailty, with us, mamish, you, me, with our own funniness, our own quirkiness, all our stuff, beautiful stuff inside. With our stuff, we're a tremendous light. A Yid's a big thing. The prayer of a Yid, the Torah of a Yid, the Emunah of a Yid, the Chesed, the kindness of a Yid. A Yid's very, very big. I have this worry. Before I came in the room was like buzzing. It was geschmack in here. I have a worry. I go around where I'm speaking. I'm like worried. I'm the great buster of chills in Klal Yisrael. People are in rooms, they're schmoozing, geschmack. It's a big thing when you're not talking to each other. It's a big thing. I have an asay, and I say a shiur Shabbos afternoon. It started with my wife and my sister, a two-person shiur. Today we've exploded. About 12 to 15 ladies come, and we learn Torah Shabbos afternoon. It's upstairs in the Ezras Nashim. Before I walk up, they're like schmoozing. It's so nice. So I'm pacing downstairs. My wife's like, Daniel, it's 5 minutes late, it's 10 minutes late. The main thing is they're schmoozing. Two Yidden are talking to each other. I walk in the room, it gets awkward. I say, okay. Crazy. crazy. Crazy, a big Baal Aveira. To stop two Yidden from talking is a big Aveira. So I usually wait. I keep pacing downstairs, Yudah. Tell my wife, says, Daniel, this is just... Okay? But what's the only right to talk? Two Yidden encouraging each other. That's the goal itself. Our people seeing beauty in each other, bringing out each one of us a tremendous light. It's real stuff. It's real. The value of a Yid is just the emes. And seeing another Yid and talking to another Yid and encouraging another Yid is the biggest thing in the world. The biggest thing. My son traveled 5 hours. My son Moshe, his friend Aaron had a vart in Baltimore, went 5 hours to vart, 5 hours back. Of course, he made a Yid smile. What's obvious? You have a bigger thing you could do in the world. My tata was one of the big, in my life, I don't know if I met a person who used time like my father. I'm like working on myself, working to be more on time. My father, you could set watches by him. And his day was freaky. What he did in a day was crazy. It was busy, and every second was counted, was measured. My father would run to a Yid Simcha in a second. A Vard, a L'chaim, a Sheva Brachas, a Chasna, but not a word. Most of the year, most nights the year, my parents were going to Simchas. But there was never a grown, what in my life? Would it make a Yid happy? All his things on his plate, a Rosh Kollel, Rosh Yeshiva, Besvardish Yeshiva, writing a Sefer, learning Shas, crazy schedule. To go to a Yid Simcha, you kidding me? We're born for that. like what's this? There's not a tzad in the world. I can make a Yid bring a smile. Go to a Yid Simcha to dance, to encourage, to celebrate. That's the goal itself. When we see the Haramas carrying Yisrael, a Yid is celebrated, a Yid's appreciated, a Yid's seen. The whole story of the Galus is Yosef rejected, Yosef seen. Melech Chadash doesn't see Yosef, and then all of Klal Yisrael brings out Atzmas Yosef. That's like the whole story. And our task is to value, is to know that we're Hashem's people. And Hashem values the Avodah V'Yid. The Avodah V'Yid is precious and important. That's our task. If I could share, Rabbi Brownson, is there time for one more point, or we're running late? We're running late, that sounds like. 10 minutes. We have to learn to value our own avodah, not imitating anybody. You don't have to, it's not a competitive, Yiddishkeit is not like a scholastic competition, like who's the biggest scholar, no shaykhs. A Yid's avodah, a Yid's prayer, mamish. Yid himself, the way, as he davens, come on time. I sometimes see a bacher davening in the Beis Mesh. I don't want to be thrown at him Mevaseret. I like this place. I see a bacher davening in late 11:30, 12. There's one bacher I watch his tefillahs. It's much bigger than my tefillah, much. It's a light. He goes to the Beis Mesh, he davens. Follow the Minhagei Yeshiva. If you get in trouble for being late, I can't bail you out. But the avodah of a Yid, each Yid, your avodah. Every Yid's avodah is precious and big. I want to share maybe an idea about our avodah, because we all want to be mechazik and Torah and tefillah and chesed. We want to be mechazik. So I want to talk about an Inyan Avodah with the Chaver for a few minutes like this. I'm going to come from Hanukkah, but I want to talk to us. It says that the Yidden, at the time of the Yevanim, the Bach brings Hisrashlu b'Avodah. There was a laziness in Avodah. We were lazy about the Avodah. Hisrashlu. I'll talk loud because the Chaver here. Perfect. It says, maybe this was the sign that I'm going late. It could be. But it says the Yidden were Hisrashlu b'Avodah. We were lazy with Avodah. What was the tikkun for our Hisrashlus, our laziness? We didn't take the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. There was a laziness. It's a sensitive Gemara to me for a guy who's always late. But it says one mishmar in the Beis Hamikdash, they were shaya lavai. They came very late. There was a laziness. What was the tikkun? What fixed up our problem is we fought for the avodah. We were ma'aseh nefesh. We went out and fought the Greeks for avodah. I have a kasha. What's the opposite of laziness? Is put in effort. How many parents tell me my son's lazy? How many guys here have said, I'm lazy? I'm lazy. Do you think the opposite of lazy is trying hard? That's wrong. If the opposite of lazy is trying hard, so we were lazy about the avodah, the tikkun should be, we worked hard for the avodah. Bring it, bust it, work hard. Stop being lazy, work hard. How often do we tell people are being lazy? Let's go work. If I see the dorm councils work like crazy in yeshiva. Let's say I see a period they're not working so hard. So what's the meeting? Come on, chevra, let's go. It's not the opposite. That's a tois gadol. Huge mistake. Working hard. If you have one guy who's learning hard and another guy's not putting so much in, it's not, you're just missing effort, son. How many parents? You're just lazy. I think that's the most lazy interpretation of what's happening. Amazingly lazy to say he's just lazy. That's not true. It's a tremendous mistake. I want to learn something. It's dangerous what we're going to learn. Very dangerous what we're about to learn. Very. Don't leave now. If you were going to leave, it was before or after. Now it's dangerous. If you leave now, we'll have trouble. But I want to tell you, see, the opposite of lazy is not working hard. Otherwise, the tikkun, we were lazy and avoid to work hard. It's not the opposite. What do you know about somebody who's working hard? If you see somebody doing chesed and mamish like on fire, I watch in Yeshiva Chika go crazy. I watch my son Maish run the whole place. You know that his heart is on fire. It's megala ratzon pnimi. Somebody's working. Whoa, you're serious about this. If your friend does a lot for you, whoa, you like me. Whoa, zrizos is megala ratzon pnimi. What's atzlus is the person doesn't want. Now here's where it gets dangerous. The opposite of lazy is not to work hard, not at all. The opposite of lazy is megala, you don't have a ratzon pnimi. Now, this is dangerous. So if I don't go to minyan, I must not care about minyan. That was like your 5th grade Rabbi said, for the ski trip you get up, then for minyan, you see you don't care. So I want to tell you a secret, chevra, that we all have neshamas that I promise care about everything on earth. Once Hashem, you don't have to work on caring. We have a neshama, every single one of us has a neshama that's eish mamish. Teretz, I'm not in touch with that. I'm not in touch with that ratzon. I'm not connected to it. I'm not connected. The opposite of lazy is not to work hard. If I want the dorm council to start working hard, I don't start giving a shmooze and say work harder. That's like, it's absolutely silly. I actually speak about how important being a dorm counselor is. I want to arouse that ratzon pnimi. I want them to get in touch with the ratzon pnimi. So if they're being lazy in dorm counseling, I don't say, come on, you do things. Maybe sing a song about Torah. If a guy feels he's not learning Torah, he doesn't have to worry. We have a ratzon pnimi for Torah. Yisrael v'Yirei Secharim. Maybe I have to find parts of Torah that might resonate in my neshama. Sometimes chitzonis meres hapnimis, there's such a force. Do it with fire, and it will. But make sure you're looking what it's ma'arer. Chitzonis meres hapnimis, Mesias Yesharim's Eitzah. Sometimes if you function with alacrity, even though you don't feel it, it will arouse something. But you have to ask yourself and be in touch. Hey, wow, that touched something in me. It moves something in here. It moves something. A bacher told me yesterday, this is not a funny conversation. I care about this guy a lot. There's not to be cute. He said, Rabbi, I'm very upset. I said, why? He said, I overslept, I missed Shacharis yesterday. I woke up way after Chatzais, I missed Shacharis. I said, you're upset about that? He said, I'm really upset. Mamish, I'm really upset. said, what a day that was. Your mamish upset? I said, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I felt I missed the day. I said, what a day. What a day. First he said, Rabbi, I can't do wrong. Like, nobody's a real person. He doesn't want a pat in the back. Be quiet, Kalish. Get out of here. We're not a fake. We don't have a fake friendship. I'm not talking about a pretend friendship. I'd be a bad person. I don't want to be a bad person. To me, he said, you heard what the guy said? I really feel bad. It's amazing. I said, you say it again. I promise. The guy was like, yeah, I really care. It's like, you're right. Right? Then he proceeded to daven, and it looked such a nice daven. He mamish found out he liked davening. It's like a crazy thing. Found out he wants to daven. We have a ratzon pnimi, and we want to get in there. We can get in there. The opposite of israshlos is not they tried hard. The opposite is they fought for the avodah. The israshlos comes from a sense that my avodah doesn't matter. Does it even matter? Does it even... Who cares? And the opposite is to fight for it. It's worth fighting for. This counts. It's worth fighting. It's worth fighting for our avodah, for my chakras, with all my space outs, with barely being able to focus. It's worth fighting for. My avodah counts. Coming to pray. I'm trying to pray to Hashem. It's a big thing. And it's worth fighting. The opposite of this rashlos is to fight for it, not to try hard. Of course, we fight for it. That's megala, that brings out an inner ratzon. This counts. This is important. This matters. The very nace of Hanukkah that takes us into Golus, into the winter. The nace of Hanukkah, every miracle we celebrate was something good happened to me and you. What happened Hanukkah? Hashem had a miracle. For us, we were yaitse, Einis Rachmana Patrim, and Einis. We couldn't light them in our... Why are we celebrating what happened to Hashem? What happened to you? What happened to me? It burnt 8 days, so God had a miracle. Was Hashem... What's the nace? The Sfas Emes explains that the nace was Hashem saying, I want your avodah. The Srashlos was, does my avodah count? Does it really matter? And the nace was, I want your avodah. It's chashuv to me. It's chashuv. I would say from the most important things in the world, and Reb Nachman, people think they have to race and keep up and stand out in their shit. That's cute, that's good, that's nice. The ikar avodah is for a person to be machshiv, the ma'at that he does. It's very big. It's big. It's big. It's like a big thing. Person prayed, mamish. Prayed nicely, prayed. It's a big thing, you guys, prayer. Person learned the Mishnah. Mamish, he learned the Mishnah. It's hard to concentrate. And he learned the Mishnah. He learned the Mishnah. A guy on the plane, I felt like a fraud. I learned well on planes. I don't get to learn a lot in my life. I shouldn't say like an excuse. I have to push to learn more Torah. I have to learn more. I'm a good plane learner. I don't know how it happened. I learned well on planes. And I learned a nice, and a guy next to me, a Yid, he said, whoa, he said, Rabbi, whoa, he was like, I'm so impressed, you learn so much. So I felt a fake. But I want to know that I'm us Talmidim of the Baal Shem, the Yid said, I'm so impressed. And I said, no, I felt very good. So I learned a few minutes. This guy learns more than me a day in all likelihood, this Yid. But on the plane I learned, and Hashem was saying, it's a good zach. It's nice you learned. On a plane, you found it, and you learned for a few minutes, a big thing. The avodah of a Yid is chashuv and counts and matters. My father knew a lot of Torah. And he would say Shiurim. There were times he was saying Shiurim. He was a person who shas be'iyu and Rambam backwards and forwards. A guy in the Shiur, a guy told me, I went to your father's Shiur for 14 years and slept through 14 years of daf. Why'd the guy keep going back? He slept for 14 years. Busy person, just stopped going. My father was very machshav, was chashuv. Yid's coming to learn Torah. Falling asleep, Yid's coming. He's trying to learn Torah. Very chashuv, he appreciated, celebrated. It's a big thing, the avodah of a Yid. A Yid learns. Each Yid's it's a big thing, and it's its own story. You can't compare the next guy, this guy. The darkness of Golus is a Yid that values another Yid. The Soine Yisrael want a Yid to give petch. They're leaving give power to a Yid if he claps another Yid. And the gula is that a Yid values another Yid, even takes patch not to hurt another Yid. Sees the value, sees the maila, sees the greatness of another Yid. That's the gula. So I want to express a tefillah. Reb Nachman says your Torah should become a prayer. I want to pray together that Hashem should give you and I the einayim, that we should see in our own avodah as value. My kasha, my sin. Another guy's opening up, so you know the svarim pile upper? Guy's like tons of svarim. And I'm like with my art scroll. I love the biggest guy in the Beis Medrash. He has living in the presence, and he's mamish. Harvey, another guy has svarim piled up. The Geula itself is b'machshiv the avodah. Your seder, your learning, your chesed, our light that we can bring in our phone call to our sisters, a big light from one end of the world to the other. Guy calls up his sister, Mamish. I tell you, he called her up to say the Shabbos, to give her chizuk, to see how she's doing. He called his brother, called his grandma. It's a big light. The Geula itself is to chap the value, the tremendous value of a Yid's avodah. Hashem values. He was mitzvah, so he valued. I tremendously appreciate Chabad send shluchim. They'll go to crazy places to get a Yid to put on tefillin. They value a Yid put on tefillin. You know, in Yeshiva, we have a stage. I don't like that when a bacher is doing well, like, oh, you're getting there? Like, not bad, okay? Uh-huh. He's getting there. We just sat down. We learned the pasuk in the Torah. It's like it's a light from one end. We sat, we talked together. We liked a group of people sit together. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a big light. It's a big light. A group of people sit together, encourage each other, value and appreciate. That's the Geula itself. That's the opposite of the Cheshkas Hagolos. So my prayer is the Rebbeinu Shalom should open our eyes to see the value of our own avodah, in our own corner, in our own story, in our own situations. And then when we see the value in our own avodah, we see another Yid. We're nishtaimim from another Yid. You're zeichet to learn Torah in Eretz Yisrael. There are many Yidden. They're different kinds, different types. There are a lot of shvatim here in Eretz Yisrael. Beautiful. And we have disagreements amongst our people. Our job is to value our light and then to recognize we need the light of every Yid. Our differences, no, different shvatim, different tasks. A Yid's a big deal. And the light of the Yid to appreciate, he's necessary. We need, it's all us. There's no them in our people. I don't know with them, those, them. There's no they. It's us and us. Klal Yisrael lost a leader a few months ago, Rabbi Howard, Moshe Howard from Baltimore. He's a leader, a giant, a prince in our people. He valued a Yid. I met a person who looked up at Yidden, who appreciated the Avodah. All circles, he was so much bigger, this circle, that circle. He was B'chol Tfutzos Yisrael. That's the emes, the kapshat of a gadol b'Yisrael, is there's room for the entirety of our people. That's what a gadol means. There's room. If there's only room for some people in our people, that's not a gadol b'Yisrael. It's a wonderful person, the Yid's in it. Gadol means gadlus is large. There's room for the entirety of our people. We need the entirety of our people. So Hashem should open up our eyes to see the value of our own avodah and to appreciate the value of another Yid's avodah. If we can sing together, maybe Anikir will kill. Hashem wants all of us. You know what I want to sing? Maybe you'll sing it.
Sha'arei
a tremendous thank you to the guys. I asked Mechila, I have to run. I'm late somewhere. I would love to meet every person here, but that's not right now what I could do because I have to run. But I want a bracha from each other, from one to another. A bracha of a yid. A yid has the power of bracha. So all of us should be zeicha, all of us. Really, really, really to tap in that our avodah counts, to find that space, to be in touch with our rutzen. Don't beat up yourself. It's not about beating up. It's about tapping in to the rutzen that exists. Learn things that are ma'ira the ratzon. Find it. Find the way. Find the avenue in. We have the ratzon inside. The Rabbi Shalom should be mizaka us to be in touch with the beauty that's ours, specifically and uniquely our light, our Torah, our tefillah, our chesed. And together, Yidden should see each other in a beautiful way. We should notice each other and care about each other. We should see how Ramas Karen Yisrael, Hashem's people should have a restoration of the dignity and honor Hashem should protect. The Shomer Yisrael, the Rabbi Shalom, should protect Am Shomer Am Yisrael La'ad. Hashem is the protector. If Am Yisrael, He should protect our people. All of our nation should be safe. All of our nation should be seen. All of our nation should be in touch with the precious neshamas that the Rabbi Shalom gave us. We should be Mekadesh Shem Shemaim. Every Yid should bring out a beautiful light, and we should be Zeicha B'Karev to the coming of Mashiach Me'eri Aleinu.